The Edge at 11 starts now.
Tonight on The Edge, more storm chances are on the way. Some in our viewing area saw strong storms earlier. Video shot near Tecumseh shows a shelf cloud rolling through the area. Monroe and Lenawee counties were both under a severe thunderstorm warning for part of the afternoon.
It's going to stay muggy tomorrow, and the chance of pop-up storms will persist.
Weather Authority Rich Luderman giving us a look ahead. Rich.
Ladies, one more day of heat, humidity, and spotty storms. I'll show you why. We have this cold front out in the western Great Lakes. It's going to continue to move to the east. It's already warm and muggy, so when you introduce a cold front into the picture, it gives more instability into the atmosphere, and that means thunderstorm chances. It will not be an all-day rain. Notice where the active weather is right now, over Lake Michigan right now, and then further west of Milwaukee and Chicago. Still a couple of showers there, not far from Lansing. It was warm again today. 86 the official high here. 88 Kalamazoo. Look at Chicago, 94 degrees. We had plenty of 90-degree weather earlier in the week, but much more comfortable up north. Escanaba and Alpena today in the 60s. 86 and 67, your official high and low. There are your averages. Not a lot of rain at the airport, but there were some brief heavy downpours around Ann Arbor, through Lenawee County, of course. This evening, north of Highland, up close to Hawley, there were some heavy downpours. Right now, it's pretty quiet out there. It's mild and it's muggy. A lot of us have numbers in the 70s. Not a lot of breeze to show you there, but the dew points are way up. So it's going to be another 24 hours before we see the dew points come down, and that means the humidity will come down as well. Still 80 in Muskegon, 81 Chicago. Look at that, chilly weather up in Marquette at 57. So here comes our cold front. It eases off to the east. I'm going to stop the animation at 4:30. You can see those clusters of storms here in southeast Michigan. Then for Friday night, that cold front clears the area. We're setting up for a beautiful weekend with less humidity as well. For the rest of tonight, mild and muggy. Could be a stray shower in spots. Couple of storms come and go tomorrow, but not an all-day rain. We're up to 88, and then there it is, the 7-day forecast. 85 Saturday, much more comfortable for the middle part of next week heading into the 4th of July holiday. A full check at 4 a.m. Tara and Jessica, back to you.
Thank you, Rich. Well, Wayne County residents are pushing back against a plan to bring more nuclear waste into their community.
We saw a heated informational meeting tonight in Van Buren Township. Fox 2's Dave Kinchin was there.
Passionate protest outside the Wayne County Community College District campus in Van Buren Township.
We're here to say no. Enough is enough.
Loads of residents say they are sick of nuclear waste from New York and other parts of the country being brought in for storage with no interest whatsoever in the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy, or EGLE, approving a bid from Wayne Disposal Inc. to expand its footprint. That would allow for even more nuclear waste to be stored here.
EGLE has become a rubber stamp for these companies. They've never turned down a permit for toxic waste. They allow them to expand and expand and expand.
Inside the informational meeting,
now, I understand, but as of...
You don't understand. Moments of tension as state environmental officials did their best to answer many questions relating to the safe transport and storage of such waste.
I'm curious about what the safety plan in place is in the event of an airplane strike directly in the heart of the WDI facility, and if that occurs in transport on the way in or out to a truck just outside the gates by our lake.
Tough questions like that, hard to answer.
So transportation is evaluated by the U.S. Department of Transportation, and we don't have additional specific rules here necessarily in Michigan, but they evaluate hazardous materials for safe transport.
It's not the first time Wayne County residents tried to stop the waste from being brought in. In fact, many of the people in this room have been here before. Last August, nearly 4,000 gallons of radioactive groundwater and 6,000 cubic yards of radioactive waste was slated to come into Wayne County from the Manhattan Project, a research and development program that developed the first nuclear weapons in World War II. Many local officials caught off guard at the time.
To fight grassroots things like this, you know, it's very difficult for us.
Meantime, state officials say the review is ongoing.
EGLE and multiple other agencies are currently reviewing the application, and we're looking to see if it meets federal and state law.
Eagle officials made it clear no decision expected tonight. They're still in a fact-finding mode. They are expecting a decision to be made on that application to expand within the calendar year. Top Wayne County officials say they are opposed to it. In Van Buren Township, Dave Kinchin on The Edge.
Safe to say a motel room in Farmington Hills was over the occupancy rate.
Way over. And after police found more than 50 cats living with a woman there. Fox 2's Camila Miri has a closer look at the situation.
I'd just gotten back off of work, and I was going around the normal way. And as I bent that corner, I had my windows down. It was a nice day, and I had smelled cat pee very strong, so I thought that was strange.
It was Friday, June 20th, the Motel 6 on Grand River in Farmington Hills. And as he got closer to room 132,
probably about 15 cats sitting outside of the door, walking around.
And then Parker Davis saw more cats inside the room. He called police so they could come check it out. The woman staying in the room not happy about it.
She kept trying to smack my phone out of my hand, and I just kept kind of backing up to that far fence over there.
Police arrived and then animal control. Altogether, they took possession of 53 cats. Authorities say they were all in relatively good shape and relatively well cared for.
They had food and water, and there were litter boxes, and the lady that was staying in the room knew all 53 cats by name.
Mousy, Matilda, and Kevin, just to name a few.
I was shocked. I would have guessed probably about 30.
But no, 53. All in one motel room.
I mean, she was sleeping in her car. There were so many cats. There was no way to even sleep on any of the beds.
How did you know she was sleeping in her car?
She had her seat back. She had pillows set up in the back, and she was taking a nap in the car when I had walked past and seen all the cats.
Nearly all those cats will soon be available for adoption at the Oakland County Animal Shelter and Pet Adoption Center. Now, investigators say they will not be charging the woman because they say that the animals were actually well cared for, even though there were so many in that one motel room. By the way, she is allowed to keep 3 of them. And as far as how long she was staying there, that is still to be determined. Reporting in Farmington Hills, Camila Miri on The Edge.
The man accused of killing a Detroit neurosurgeon now headed to trial.
A judge deciding today there's enough evidence in the case to send it to a jury. Desmond Burks is facing murder, larceny, and felony gun charges in connection with the shooting death of Dr. Devon Hoover. He was found dead back in 2023.
Inside his Boston Edison home in Detroit, though. Burks' preliminary hearing lasted 4 days and included testimony from a number of witnesses, one of them telling prosecutors they found some of Hoover's belongings in a bag and helped get rid of that evidence.
The defense argued against the credibility of their testimony, saying they were given immunity, but the judge ruled there was enough probable cause to bind Burks over for trial.
Well, also tonight, 2 Sterling Heights police officers go before a judge to face charges tied to a violent arrest.
They're accused of assaulting a domestic violence suspect and sticking a canine on him when he was already on the ground. Fox 2's Tanisha Cordell has more from court.
In court Thursday, police body cam and dash cam video playing, showing the moments Gary Young is said to be tased, beaten by police, and bit by a canine while on the ground back in February 2024. This after allegedly leading officers on a chase following a domestic violence incident with his girlfriend and her 16-year-old daughter. Officers James Sribniak and Jack Curry watching, sitting next to their attorneys. The pair charged with misconduct and felonious assault for canine deployment.
How long did it take you to compile or complete this investigation?
Months.
The Sterling Heights lieutenant, now overseeing internal affairs investigations, on the stand, at one point being asked about his assessment of the video and arrest details.
There are no signs that Mr. Young was using deadly force against the officers.
Objection.
Oh, yeah, let's open that can of worms.
That night, there was a concern that he had used deadly force against a police officer.
Later on, clarity on Sterling Heights' use of force policy for officers met with resistance from suspects.
Active resistance would be pulling away, actively trying to get away, not cooperating, not listening.
What type of response are the officers trained to use in active resistance situations?
There would be quite a few. You could use your taser. You could use strikes, takedowns.
The cross goes on with mention of the officer's use of tasers and a handful more of objections from both sides.
If it offends me that he is trained to do something, he is in compliance with his training, and yet they want to say that it's a crime?
More testimonies and possible video expected in the next hearing in 2 weeks. Tanisha Cordell, Fox 2 News.
Absolutely. New details about a deadly crash on I-75 in Monroe County. It happened Tuesday morning in the northbound lanes near the exit to 275. A semi-truck crashed into an MDOT work zone, hitting 2 MDOT vehicles. We're told the semi-truck driver who died was a 41-year-old man from Delaware. Police say a total of 10 MDOT workers were also involved. One of them had to be treated at a hospital. Police are still investigating what caused the crash. A missing persons case out of Ann Arbor with a happy ending. An elderly man with Parkinson's found alive after 51 hours in this extreme heat.
Police there call it one of their most intense searches to date and say had it gone on much longer, this could have had a different ending.
Is he breathing? Yeah.
He's alive.
You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay.
That's 82-year-old Ralph Yang. Police say he's an active walker with his wife, but Monday he wandered off without her. Police, drones, choppers, and more than 200 volunteers helped search for him. He was found Wednesday night laying in a creek.
Just got a little too far from his normal surroundings, and it looks like he tried to make his way back. He may have slipped into the water down there, and I don't know if he was strong enough to get himself far enough away from that incline to get back out of there.
Yang was reunited with his wife and taken to the hospital. We're told he did suffer some dehydration, but should be okay in the next couple of days.